Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my show Science Thursday. In today's episode, we're gonna talk about lithium trinate batteries. So let's dive right into it. First, we have to understand what the heck we are talking about. We are talking about lithium titanate oxide. That is why you will always see LTO cells put in the abbreviation. And it is a kind of new technology. All the lithium ion that you see is generally from 1990s and 1980s. This is, on the other hand, quite a new technology to actually hit mass production. So it's relatively recent. Now, what is different in this versus a normal lithium ion battery? Lithium ion has carbon in its negative electrode. Here, they replaced carbon with lithium titanate nanocrystals. Benefit, it has ludicrously large surface area and it has some seriously interesting thing out of it. We'll discuss more about that. Now the question becomes why the heck we changed it. Basically, lithium ion works as of now. Me making this video, anybody who has lithium ion car rarely has problem with the battery. And even those Nissans that have been released years ago, they still have more than enough power. Nobody is replacing their electric cars like, hey, my electric battery is not as powerful as it used to. Like, because those cells are such high quality, well built, well managed. They're coming off with a warranty of 8 years warranty or 10 years warranty. And even after that, even once you replace after 10 years or something like that, the next battery pack you will get would be more efficient, more energetic. So it's not something that is a weak point. However, there are certain limitations, primary of which is we simply want more D. Now what does that D means? D simply means the discharge rate of a battery. So the bigger the bigger the D, basically the more oomph you can get out of it. So think of this way: if you say my cell is 10 amp hour, so you have to simply say if your cell is capable of 1 D, that simply means it can give about 10 ampere hour maximum. Generally, it will be much higher. Discharge rates on batteries are much higher than their charging rate. So, and that is one of the critical aspect of lead acid battery, and that is why lead acid battery is still in your car ignition system. Simply because while you are turning the key and starter motor comes on, it can draw as high as 400 amperes from your battery system. That is a lot of juice. That is not a small task. And lithium ion, because we have been lithium ion saying lead acid, we have been working with it for 150 years. We know how to get that kind of oomph out of it. Side effect, it does not have the depth of charge, so you can only do few times before your battery is like, okay, I'm dead. So we want something like that. We want something where we can extract a lot of ampere out of it. Like if it's a 100 amp hour system, we want a basically 2D or 3D. We want as much D as we can get out of it. So again, that's a small issue, especially if you can make the battery bigger. So that's how lithium ion can actually power your car, which can consume as high as few megawatts of power in peak times. So we can do that. It's not something that we cannot do. It's just we make it bigger to do it. So that's not a big deal, but people still want it. Then we come to the most important part. We want more C. Now C is the critical aspect. Right now most lithium ion is not even 1 C. What does that mean? C, same as a D, it is the capacity of the battery. So 1 C simply means you can charge the battery in 1 hour regardless of the size. So if it's 10 amp hour, you're gonna put 10 amp, and in the 1 hour is gonna go from 0 to 100% of charge. That's it. There is no hoo-ha in that. So C is irrelevant of the size. Battery size does not matter. So C, if you have 1 C, 1 hour charge. If you have 2 C, 30-minute charge. And if you have 5 C, 12 minutes of charge. So that is the holy grail. If somebody like many people don't actually need electric cars to charge very quickly, because almost all of them, they can do simple thing. They can come in the home after the long drive from work and parking or whatever have you. They come home, they plug the car, that's it. And many people have finally started to grasp that aspect. It's like they don't need supercharger. If for normal driving, electric car is more than enough. They only need supercharging when they are going for long road trips, which even though YouTube makes it seem like every Tom, Dick and Harry is doing long road trips, every Instagrammer is making it, majority of humanity does not do that. That's not something most people do, because yeah, it sounds fun. Yeah, I'm driving for 3-4 hours. It's very bad for your body. And like truckers have to deal with insane physical problems because of that. Like your body is not designed to be sitting in one position for that long hour while you are absolutely focused. It's not doable. It's not even recommended by health administration. So but even those kind of people who like never gonna do it, they want an electric car. They're happy with the range. Most people are now happy. Hey, 300 kilometers before I have to charge, I'm good with it. Most petrol cars don't even have that kind of fuel tanks. Because of mileage, we want to reduce the weight, so we make smaller fuel tanks. lighter, and we get higher efficiency out of it. Yeah, that's awesome. And you can recharge it in like 5 to 10 minutes maximum. So we want something that recharges us that quickly. So how we can achieve that? Basically make something that can hit 5C. That is the end game. If we can reach something 5C or higher than that, let's say 10C, 10C directly translates to charging your battery in 6 minutes flat. You plug it in, done. In 6 minutes it's done, and that is so fast. It's literally comparable to refueling your diesel truck or diesel bus or a petrol car. Like that is that fast. So if we can hit 5C, even 4.4 Cs, we good. Basically that is the holy grail of basically electro vehicle. The moment we reach that, people will, instead of complaining, oh hey it takes long to recharge, they will say, yeah, I don't have enough money to buy it right now. So that it will go from, oh, something that not for me, to like, yeah, if I can afford it, I'll buy it. As simple as that. So that is the end game. We want 5C, and that is the chemistry level. Lithium titanate can deliver that. And recently, Siemens and German, I have provided the video down below so you can check. It's a very complicated synergy of multiple companies. They have successfully hit 450 kilowatt charging, aka full charging an electric car like Tesla in 10 minutes. Now again, they can't do with Tesla because Tesla will explode. It's not designed for that kind of oomph. It's designed with 150 kilowatt hour system. But if you have a car that can absorb that kind of energy, you can charge your electric car today in 10 12 minutes. So it is doable. Now imagine doing that with lithium trianate battery. You can do that, like, you can recharge your truck in 10 minutes and something like that. So that is why we want to change. That is why people are working so hard to change the lithium's chemistry. And one crucial aspect, the more lithium we start to use, the more we have to realize all metals react with oxygen and they give off energy. Iron, not so much. Lead, not really that much. But lithium, now that puppy is explosive. Like it's almost in the same level as aluminum. The only reason aluminum does not explode randomly is simply because it creates an oxide layer. And people who deal with molten aluminum, they have to really make sure that a lot of oxygen does not come into contact. Because if that happens, you will understand why NASA uses aluminum in their solid boosters. It is a very powerful reaction if it can happen, and if there is a chain reaction, well, there are many aluminum foundries that have exploded. So metals, oxygen do not mix together. Lithium and oxygen, yeah, it does not even need ignition. It's like, bro, boom. So we want something that does not go boom. Like that's understandable. Now you might be like, okay, I'm gonna have like complete control over the charging state, discharging state, I'm gonna make it absolutely safe. Here's the deal: when you are putting something like that in a car, there are other people on the road. There are random things on the road. Heck, for all intents and purposes, some tires blows out, and if you type on YouTube, like, random wheels, wheels falling off the car, like, you are driving, everything you're doing safely. Your engineer made sure the battery is like absolutely safe, and randomly a one wheel comes out of the sky and boom, destroys your car. Again, your battery will catch on fire the moment lithium contacts the air, and boom. So we don't want boom. This is inherently safe. The chemistry, the way we change the carbon to lithium trinate, inherently makes it safe. Instead of becoming a blowtorch, it becomes something that you put on a fire. It will catch on fire. It's not fireproof. It's just that it will not add it to your flame. Basically, it would be like burning wood rather than pouring gasoline on top of it. Instead of blowtorch, you will simply have a fire. Basically, the rubber and tire will produce more heat rather than the explosive. So it is very safe. And the moment you type not battery safety, they will show this demonstration. It's like, electric drill on a cell, active cell, no reaction. Electric load on a cell, and while they're cutting it through with a chainsaw, it will not do anything. It is 100% safe. Now again, it will catch on fire. If you set it on fire, it will catch on fire, but it will not add to it. It will not become like, hey, run away if there is a gasoline in the car. They have to get foam on. They don't have to do something special like this. However, to make the electrode more safe, they did pay a serious price. Is not very dense. And when I mean dense, I don't mean, okay, it's not dense as in terms of liters. It's also not dense in terms of kilograms. So your battery not only will be bigger, it will also be heavier in order to get the same amount of oomph, basically same amount of capacity as lithium ion. That is why you don't see this in every supercar. So what are the uses of it? Well, It does make your battery bigger, it does make your battery larger, so buses can accommodate for it. And China has been doing that for 2012, so to say, and they have successfully achieved that 12-hour military charge time. They have achieved it, like they had it, like, that's not a big news for them. They have it, like 400 kilowatt charging, electrical charging structure, they have it. It's like a past tense for them. And China knew from very early on, if they really want to make their commercial fleet into electronic one, it must have quick charging. So they did not jump into lithium ion, they jumped into lithium trinate. And I have provided the link down below of a company that specializes in that, and their third gen battery is even more powerful, so they can tangibly, if they want to, charge the battery in as quick as 3 minutes. Let this sink in. It's like it's not like a car battery, it's a bus battery that can go as high as 400 kilowatt hour, and they can charge it in like, oh, done, go, as long as you can provide the power from the grid. Because at those kind of charging rating, you need a lot of oomph from your grid to pump that kind of power. So that does become an issue. Now, because lithium trinate is kind of stable rather than carbon, it does have one advantage: it has ludicrously large cycle life. What does cycle life mean? On off of your battery. Basically, if you are charging it, discharging it, that's one cycle. Charging it, discharging it, cycle number 2. That's what happens. It does not matter whether you have to cycle from 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Again, cycle does happen, and those will also have an effect for it. But for simple mathematics, people simply count how many times you can change the polarity. Basically, you are charging or versus discharging. So they simplify it. So once you are talking about a lead acid battery, you are talking about 2 to 500. When you are talking about lithium ion, normal, basic, you are talking about 1000. When you are talking about something fancy like lithium iron phosphate, the last video, you are talking about 3 to 5000. That's a lot of life. Now, when you're talking about these puppy, they can go up to 20,000 if done correctly. So that's a very long lifespan. That's like long. So that is why they wanted to put this in a bus, because their mathematics is like they have actually done a long-term experience on that. It's like basically they have to retire the whole bus. They don't have to be like, okay, the chassis is well, so we have to replace the battery. No, it's like whole buses go. It's like how you retire a bus when the engine breaks down. Like like, okay, if the engine is breaking down, there is a very good chance even the chassis is rotten. It will Same thing will happen with this kind of electric buses. Like, yeah, again, they will have electrical short circuit malfunction and all that. Removing those aside, the lifespan of the whole bus as a complete package is 600,000 kilometers. So basically, you have to retire the bus rather than, oh, the battery bank died. That's a very big thing for long-lasting commercial investments. Basically, let's say you are talking about a forklift. Everything else in the forklift also wears down. It's not that forklifts will live forever, but let's say you put a battery in that will live as long as those other components, basically the bearings, bearing materials, the plumbing system, everything else. If those things break at the same time as your battery does, people will simply buy a new one, and that is what people want. It's like, hey, I bought this car, I don't have to worry about it. I just have to maintain it for every few thousand kilometers, and then it's like after 10 years I retire the whole damn thing, or 20 years. They can achieve that with lithium trinate. The battery life is so long, and not to mention it's safe. So if you have 10-20 people in a bus, or 40-50 people, you don't want a fire hazard. So that's a very good investment from China's part. Then we come to certain aspects. There are certain unique abilities of lithium trinate, one of which, it simply does not care about the cold. It can survive cold starts as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius. That's low. Like that is low, and it can handle complete cycle life. Basically, like, it will not care. Most batteries are measured at 24 degrees Celsius, which is a joke. Basically, the moment you put those battery in India, they will become useless, simply because India's average temperature is 35 degrees Celsius or even hotter. Sometimes it has reached as high as 52 degrees Celsius. So, and if you are in Africa, forget about it. This puppy can go from minus 50 degrees Celsius to plus 50 degrees, aka 100 degrees Celsius of range, without even caring. Basically, the chemistry simply will not care. Yes, it has low density, but it simply does not care. It has longer lifespan, and temperature is. What does that mean? That simply means if your car have your electric vehicle is let's say in not electric vehicle would be perfect sense. Let's say you are on expedition on Antarctic. This battery is like, I got this, bro. I got this. Like, everything else will fail rather than this thing. So it has a lot of unique advantages in those kind of scenarios. So let's say you have military base in a far off place in top of a mountain. You can have wind, solar, and those will provide the power, and you can put that power into the battery, and battery is like, yeah, I got this. It simply would not care whether it's hot or cold. So that is a very good thing. Now, the first uses of that, because I did specify it has a lot of D, music system enthusiasts, they jumped on it. Like right now, if you type lithium ion, that's the first use you will see. YouTubers, not YouTubers per se, like audio enthusiasts, they are making giant battery banks out of this, and they are replacing their main battery with this, simply because it does have the oomph to just handle your starter motor without any destruction, and it does have the capacity to actually have enough energy to do that multiple times. It can provide lot of oomph to your subwoofers, amplifiers, and all that, and they do not even get damaged if you are doing continuously 10 basically 10 D spikes. It can easily handle that. That's in kilowatts of power. So audio community loves this, and given the fact that yeah, it is expensive, but the fact it inherently, unless you destroy it, there is no way of it getting damaged even when you discharge it to 0 volt. That is one very critical aspect. Like this can truly go to 0 volt. Basically you put multimeters on side, nothing, just zero, you can still charge it and it will still give you 100% power back. So it is quite amazing. Like a lot of people are using it, and many Toyota variants specifically in China is also using lithium trinate battery, because people want that 12-minute quick charging. So it has a lot of uses right now. So what we can expect in the future? Now this technology, again I specified, is kind of new, and right now there are barely 3 to 4 manufacturers. There is Toshiba that is doing a lot of work, and basically Yinlong, another Chinese company that is doing, and 1 or 2 more. So it's not as big as basically when you're talking about lithium ion. Lithium ion, you have like Samsung, LG, Panasonic. Tesla is wants to make their own company and all that jazz. So you have hundreds of companies right now, and those were the big ones. This barely have any. So, and that is why the moment you type lithium, you will only see these blue color lithium system. So they do not have too much competition, and the chemistry is kind of new, so a lot of R&D money is still being recovered, so the cost is high. So cost has to come down to lithium iron level. Basically lithium iron is very cheap, then you have lithium iron phosphate that is a bit more expensive but longer life. This has even longer lifespan, but it's more expensive, so people want that price to come down, and more and more people will use it. Then we come to one critical downside of this battery. While it is amazing in many ways, it does have one side effect. Basically the charge efficiency is low. Basically if you put 100 kilowatt, you do not get 100 kilowatt back. Basically you will get 80 or 85 out of it. That is one critical aspect. Not a big deal for bus and all that, because again it's subsidized, but if you are running an electric owner, it's not gonna hurt you, so to say. It's not gonna hurt you, but you will be like, yeah bro, I really want it to be efficient, and that will happen in every cycle. So, and given the long lifespan, it does kind of sting a bit that it would be better if it was more efficient, or at least as efficient as lithium ion. So that is one critical downside of it, and there are engineers who are working on improving that. Then we come to the energy density aspect. Now density is the one thing that you will hear every Tom, Dick and Harry say about, like from Elon Musk to everybody who builds electric cars. It's like, we want more density. Here, given the other benefits of this system, if they can make it as dense as lithium ion, done. Nobody would even talk about lithium ion, because this is safe for road. So even in a car crash or accident, it's not gonna become a blowtorch. So that's amazing. And the long lifespan simply means your chassis will wear out before this puppy wear out. That's awesome. Then it simply does not care about the cold. That is amazing. And it's also suited for hot climate, because 50 degrees C, all the ratings are done at 50 degrees C, and they get the same oomph out of it. That's awesome. And they can charge it at ludicrously lightning fast speed. And if they do lightning fast charging while doing the cooling that you need for that Porsche thing, it can do like I would not be surprised if they can do like 3 minute charging on these batteries. 3 minute full charge. That's faster than petrol. So these are the 3 core components. Now cost, I am pretty certain in 10 years it will start to come down. Charging effectiveness, that is inherently bad side effect of increasing the surface area for electron flow. So I do not know whether that can be improved or not. Density, energy density, maybe not. But the first thing I'm pretty sure it will happen. The cost will come down, and I'm pretty sure this has so much potential in it. And the fact that it's buy once and forget about it. Like if you think your 10 year warranty on your Powerwall is good, this puppy can give you 20-year warranty or 30-year warranty. And the fact, if your house catches on fire, this will not become like a waiting disaster for firefighter. It's like, hope that batteries do not catch on fire, because if they do, boom. So there are a lot of good things about this technology, even with the side effect of it not being as efficient. So this was my presentation on lithium trinate oxide batteries. I hope you liked it, learn from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I'd urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me your extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.